Rumpf? No.
Jesus. Hey, what's the crack, YouTubers, fellow orc community, individuals, and, people from different groups? Welcome to another episode of Two Bald Knobs. This is episode 29. We will be talking about the Beast Snagger releases, I suppose better late than never, Steve-O. What do you reckon, huh?
It's been a while, hasn't it, mate? It's been a while. 4 months since episode 28.
Jesus.
I don't know. I didn't realise it had been that long.
Jesus. I don't even remember what we talked about last. It's been that long.
Last time we talked about GW's constant updates and FAQs. That was what we did last time.
Right.
I remember it well because later that night I created another video on my channel of me sleeping.
That's right, you hosted that one, didn't you?
Yes, so that'll always be burned in my memory, that episode.
You haven't decided to branch off to the ASMR sleeping videos now?
No, although from judging by some of the comments and things afterwards, I think there is a market for it. I see Poke's in here in the chat. I think he would have been a keen subscriber to that channel.
Hey Poke, what's the crack? How are you keeping? How are you all keeping? We've got new orcs coming. It's exciting. I love it. It's like we've new orcs coming. It's exciting times, and Muggins here is chilling, painting BattleTech vehicles. It's like there's new orcs coming, Scar. I'm like, I know, man, I know. But I'm painting BattleTech. Were you painting BattleTech? Wait, go on.
Well, I'm not painting orcs, but I am painting goblins for Blood Bowl. So I'm somewhere in the right ballpark.
Well, this is it.
And they're I'm liking these little gits. They've made quite a bit of progress this evening with these actually. I just primed them, I've dry brushed them, and now I'm just starting the skin on them. I've been hanging out in the Discord with other members of the community. Link in the description, I imagine.
Yeah, it's down there somewhere.
Get some hobby done with the Discord crew. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting some games of Blood Bowl because I've never played it before.
You haven't played at all?
Never.
Jesus.
It's been one of the specialist games that I've always wanted to play and always wanted to get into. I guess there's just timings. I have known a couple of people that do play it, but when they've been in, it hasn't really worked for me. And then when I did want to play it and spoke to people about, trying to find someone else to get started on it as well, it's never really happened.
It fizzled out at that point, did it?
Yeah, I'm just, but I'm not. So it's always been a game that's interested me, and it'll just be a nice something different from 40k. Something, although it isn't that different because I'm still painting green.
Look,
and
yellow. I'm painting BattleTech and I'm still painting green. You know what I mean? There's no getting away from it.
There is no getting away from it. And then I thought, I'll do something a bit different with these, and I'll paint them in a different style. And then I got them, and they're just covered in moon symbols and whatever. I'm like, they're probably just going to be black and yellow, and they just like the rest of the army. So fuck it.
Black and yellow, black and yellow. Yeah, man, it is hilarious how the colors kind of follow you. It's like I'll try a totally different gaming system, still green.
Oh yeah, you know, if I did Space Marines, I'd do like Imperial Fists or something. I'd still be doing that yellow.
All the yellow. What's the crack? We've a few heads have shown up. Some early boards. Poke's here. What's the crack? Poke, Drunken Orc is here. Evening, gents. Well, that took some finding. I'm telling you, the hobby gate BattleTech took look at least there's one upside. True. Dim's here. Dim's here. C. James.
You don't even have to read what he's saying.
I know. You can feel the vibe. What's going on, guys? Anyone have a Twitch? I do. Do you have a Twitch? We have a question asking Steve-O, any advice for someone wanting to start an orc army? I'll chime in really quick. Wait until the new Codex comes out before you pull the trigger on any big buzz. But go on. Any advice, Steve-O?
Um, my advice would be to ignore a lot of the advice. Get what you want. And don't. I mean, it depends. I would have to ask that person more. What are you looking for? Are you looking to get into it competitively? You just want it for fun? Is it your first ever? I think there's so many.
Variables.
I mean, the advice would be different depending on what you're wanting to get out of it. Yeah, it's. But I see a lot of advice out of people telling you what to buy and what not to buy, and I've watched lots of videos and people making videos saying like, don't get the start collecting set because the Death Dreads aren't very good. I'm like, no, bollocks to that. Get the start collecting kit because the Death Dreads are fucking awesome miniatures. Like, get them.
Yeah, they're cool.
But I've seen a video of someone saying, yeah, no, they're not very good. They're not the best rules and stuff. Like, fuck that. It's an amazing miniature. Get a Death Dread. Get several Death Dreads.
Oh, definitely.
But I'm biased because I like a Dread mob.
Well, not even if you're not biased for a dread mod, like you can have fun with it. Like Sydney, our resident drunken orc, he's done some crazy stuff with dreadnoughts, with Death Dreads.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Jackie Can and Judge Dredd.
And doing him up as Judge Dredd on like one of the Primaris bikes. I'm like, that shit's hilarious, man. You know what I mean? And it would look awesome in the battlefield. So like your imagination is the limit, you know. Just whatever you can think of, you can go crazy with.
I'll tell you what, taking us off completely. This is the most hobby I've done for a fucking long time tonight. I've not since at least in our part of the world we're returning to some normality after lockdowns and whatnot. I did so much over the lockdown that I kind of I haven't really built or done anything. I've been mucking about with this Blood Bowl team, but very slowly, just tinkering here and there, you know. But yeah, tonight I've had a bit of a rough day as well because I went to the dentist today, and I've had a couple of fill-ins, and yeah, that was fun. So I'm in a bit of pain right now. So doing a bit of hobby is distracting me from that.
You had a trip to the docks and you've lost a few teeth in the process.
Yeah. It's even more intimidating now as well because they dressed up in so much PPE. I mean, the dentist came in wearing a full fucking biosuit. I felt like E.T.
Elliot.
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh, God.
And then the missus wanted to go out for lunch afterwards, and so we went to Smith and Weston. It's like an American style, you know, diner type restaurant, and I had a really crap steak that was really chewy, and I had to eat with one side of my mouth, and every time I took a sip of my drink I was dribbling.
Yeah.
So my mouth was still numb.
Does not sound like fun at all. Sorry,
no.
Me, Gob. At all.
But she'd have been disappointed if we didn't go for lunch. So.
Look at taking one for the team there, Steve-O. Ever the gent.
Happy wife, happy life.
Stacking up them brownie points. You're a shining example to the rest of us. You know, I'll give you that much. Definitely. Well, we've been.
I think it's my head that's the shining example.
Well, you know, two bad labs. I should hope the majority of viewers will be used to the chrome dome showing off the pair of us by now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One would hope so, anyway. So what's the crazy? Who else have we got? Torment Orc stuff is here. Casey Mad, what's the story? Two Bald Knobs live stream. We have the Gitman's here. Hey Gits, the biggest and baddest Gits is here. Yep, it's true.
Is he talking about one of us, or is he talking about himself?
I don't know. I can never tell with the Gitman. You can never tell. You know what I mean? A bag of surprises. Like most in the 40k Orc community, a bag of surprises. In a good way.
Ain't that the truth?
And Solvent Abuse is here. What's the story, Dread? This is Dread Lund. There is more than one Dread. I know we have our Dread, but...
Oh, this isn't Dread with a different account. This is a different...
No. This is a different Dread. This is Dread who like does Machina Krieger stuff and... He's from the UK.
Because I would imagine that our Dread has abused the Solvent.
No.
It would explain a bit.
Well, you know. Definitely. He's an Dread's an OG from back in the day. Back in the day. He's still cracking away with the old machine, the Kriegers. Smoking and chilling, bud. Good man. Good man yourself. I have been putting... Speaking of green, I have been putting a bit of green on these boys. So I've been putting down a base coat of the US olive drab from Vallejo model colour. And then I've been going over... so it's a very sort of matte looking colour. And I'm just doing a generic camouflage colour. And then I go over them with a model wash. And that's the stage I'm at now. I'll do up the metals and such. And I have a few hovercraft as well. So they're very, it's sort of like 6mm scale.
Oh, they look cute.
I'm using gold for their screens. So I have like a Vallejo metallic air gold that I'm using. And it's weird painting miniatures at a different scale. Like I'm blasting through these guys at a ridiculous pace because they're only 6mm. Like,
yeah,
it's you know what I mean. It's mad.
There's less sort of finicky bits, and you know, it's.
I mean, you can get as detailed as you want, especially with the camo schemes. You know how I'm a glutton for punishment when it comes to camo schemes, but it's a lot easier to throw a bit of camo down on a vehicle than it is an orc boy. I have to admit boldly, it is a lot easier and a lot easier to a lot quicker. I don't know. Maybe it's something different. Maybe it's like what you're doing with the Blood Bowl there, where you know what I mean. I haven't painted very much in the 40k front in quite some time. The drive to get stuff done sort of dried up for a bit there, but I don't know what happened. Something different just got the ball rolling again, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've got several half projects. I've got a Mega Dread well on the way, and a Squig Off well on the way, and a Gorknaut started. But yeah, I don't know. I just sort of reached a point where I'm like, I just wasn't feeling the drive. I've got some grot tanks I'm working on. No, we don't like to talk about grot tanks on this channel, though, do we? But yeah, I don't know. I'm just excited to finally get a game of Blood Bowl in and get playing it. And I want to go and play Clint, and I want to go and play in his stadium.
In his stadium, man. Yeah.
So that's kind of that's a bit of a driving force. Essex Boys, anyone? I'm sure everyone watching now is already subscribed to Essex Boys, but go and check out his stadium. It's awesome. It's really cool.
It's an absolute cracker of a stadium, I have to say. It really is. It's an absolute cracker of one. Yeah, I've a Blood Bowl team myself. I just haven't gotten the finger out with them. I've just been dabbling here and there. I'm looking forward to a few things. There's the second wave of the BattleTech Kickstarter coming in soon enough. But more importantly, I'm looking forward to this new orc Codex that's coming out, and our topic tonight.
Yeah, of course. That's what we're supposed to be talking about.
Instead of waffling, you know what I mean? Instead of waxing lyrical, we're supposed to be talking about a topic, you know, the title.
Well, we got to put in a little bit of small talk and, you know,
this is it.
Get that out of the way first, and wait before you get to the juicy.
Wine them and dine them first, is that it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's it.
Put a bit of effort in, you know, a bit of footwork first.
Yeah.
So the beast Snaggas. How are you? Well, you've been making videos about it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been covering it. I did a video a little while ago with Sid chatting about it. Sid being the drunken orc to people that don't know, and I've made lots of videos myself covering the stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's no secret to anyone that I'm liking what I'm seeing and I'm excited about it. I guess it's a bit more. I don't know. What do you think of him, man? I think everyone's probably already heard what I think of him.
Yeah, they're. You know what I mean? It's a mixed bag for me. The thing I'm looking forward to is the Codex. I want to see what they do with the Codex. I think that's really the thing for me at the moment. Maybe it's because I have so many orcs at this point. It's like new orc releases for me. It's like they're kind of. It's nice to see orc releases. Don't get me wrong. It is nice to see new orc releases. All right, I'm quite happy to see them. I've got like that many orcs knocking around. I won't be in any rush, I think, to buy them. I'll be wanting to get my hand on the Codex, I think, is what I'm looking forward to, and seeing what changes we're gonna see, because the way our codex is set up, how we play, and like how the army even kind of feels, it's really influenced quite a lot on a few key points, and I'll be looking forward to seeing what happens with the new release, and especially in regards to the beast Snaggas. I take it that they're going to be in the codex. You know what I mean? I'd be
I would
surprised if they
bloody hope
weren't.
so.
I would hope so. Miniatures released before the codex, but I'd you know what I mean. I'd hope that the beast Snaggas would be in the codex, and then I'm thinking, I'm kind of wondering.
I mean,
Well,
they're on the front cover. I mean, it would be. Yeah.
Look, Stranger Things.
GW, but fuck me.
Stranger things have happened, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, stranger things.
Even
have
for them, that'd be pushing it.
I'm not going to point any fingers, but stranger things have happened. But I would hope, that they're coming in the codex, and it'll be. I'm interested to see what happens. I'm interested to see what other new stuff we're going to get as well.
Yes,
especially vehicles and such.
yeah, because we've got a lot more to come, haven't we? They've said that they've revealed 50% of it, and there's another so an equal amount still yet to be revealed. And we've had Warboss in Mega Armor, Pain Boss, Zodgrod, Beast Snagger Boys, Squig Hog Riders, Smasher Squig. I don't think I'm missing anything there. So that's 7 individual units right there, and so we have another 7 to come, at least. We know of some of them, one being the Chariot. We've got that coming. It'll be interesting to see what else we've got coming. I'm hoping that a big mech with KFF is in amongst that stuff.
That'd be nice.
Because I mean, the Beast Snagger stuff looks really cool. I'm really pleased to see. I know they're not technically snake bites, but they are. But it's trigger some people there. I don't care. But it's it is really cool to see that side of orcs getting some love. The more feral type, orcs and that kind of thing get some love, and that's really cool. But it's a very specific direction. So it was equally cool to see that traditional orcs, as we've known them for the last 20 odd years, are still getting some love in terms of the Warboss in Mega Armor. So it was cool to see that they're not forgetting about other orcs as well. It's not all about the Beast Snaggers. So hopefully we'll see some non-Beast Snagger releases as well as that Mega Armored Warboss. But yeah, it's exciting. Is there anything particularly you're hoping for, of the suit yet to be reveals?
I'd be interested to see what vehicles they come out with, Beast Snagger or not. But yeah, definitely, I'd like to see a big mech with custom force field. Because probably out of all of the miniatures that are being released so far, that's the one that Warboss. I think he sort of gives me the most hope. It's almost like the Beast Snaggers are their own sort of thing. Do you get me? It's like
a sub-faction.
Yeah. It's an orky release, but it seems like it's a niche within a niche.
Yeah, very specialised.
Or a niche, as our American cousins like to say. So I think I'm more interested in my own sort of flavour of the orcs to see what they do with the likes of the Warboss and other generic orky stuff.
Yeah,
if you get me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm really. I think the stuff looks great. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to owning a lot of the stuff and adding it to my army. But I won't be getting huge amounts of it and investing in it very heavily because it'll be an offshoot for my army. It'll be almost like a sub faction within my army. Whereas I'm more interested in cans and dreads and dread mobs and that kind of more mechanical side of orcs. So and I'll still continue in that direction for the most part, but I will add a contingent of Beast Snaggers to my army because I just think they look cool. And there's definitely some highlights in there that the Smasher Squig is fast. I keep changing my mind, but I think the Smasher Squig is my favourite of the new stuff they've revealed. The big fella with the knob riding on it, and I just think everything about that looks gorgeous. I think.
And the big plate on his head. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's got the bionic arm and stuff, and there's some more of a traditional style looking squig that just looks. It just looks really good. It just looks like a really nice model. And the War Boss in Mega Armor is another one that seems to be the one probably people are least excited about. I think possibly because he looks quite generic, but that's kind of what I like about him. Hopefully he'll be a good blank sort of template to add your own flair to and character to, and hopefully he'll have options. Hopefully what we've seen of him thus far is yet to be known, whether that is just what you see. That's it. That's what you get. He comes with a big chopper or a super big chopper or whatever they're going to end up calling it. And the grot on the back, and that's what you get. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully he's still got options to have power claws and stuff, and
ideally that's what we want. Yeah.
There's still so much to be revealed. There's so many unknowns, like what the rules are for this stuff, what the actual sprues look like, what's in the kits. There's still so much to be revealed.
There's a fair bit, all right. I'll go and see in the chat if there's anything of interest that the folks are cracking on about. We've got quite a few heads in now again. Pauk was saying, our orc stuff's here. I wonder if the chariot will have the old buggy rules. We have Pauk Cactus saying, I was just going to say, a big mech with custom force field, so like something that would do rules without a model. Yeah, he brings up that fair point, Pauk, with the whole rules without a model aspect that Games Workshop really go for. They really only go for stuff that they have. If they have a rule set for it, usually they have a miniature for it. So
kind of feels like a certainty. I was chatting about it with Dim the other day, and said that not only did they bring it back, the rules for it, but then they updated those rules and fixed them, because they came back with them weird rules where they made the custom force field work in like a stupid way, and then they fixed those rules and tweaked them. So I don't see the current GW going through that effort for something they're not going to have a miniature for. It seems.
It would be very perplexing if they didn't. You know what I mean? It really would. Speaking of Dim, you're saying how the beast snaggers you're showing, many people have no idea the difference is between snake bites and feral orcs. Well, then make lore videos about it, Dim, and educate the masses. Can make lore videos. I'm sure I'd love a lore video. The difference between snake bites and feral orcs from Dim. I'm sure he'd have a metric ton to talk about. What do you reckon?
I think Dim's got an extensive knowledge of the lore, as we know, and some videos talking about stuff would be very popular. There's not enough lore videos. We were just chatting in the Discord before we came on that there's a lot of 40k lore videos, but there's not a huge amount of orc lore content on YouTube. There is stuff out there, some good stuff, but certainly someone more specialised in orcs, focused on them, it would be more content's always good, and lore content would be very welcome.
This is very true. This is very true. There are a few people who do dabble with orc lore and such, but more is always welcome.
But also, don't get too finicky on it, because I say sometimes snake bites, sometimes I say frogs. I know the differences, but I don't always. You don't always need to clarify. Well, actually, yeah, I know. I just fucking said snake bite. You know what I mean? It's not split hairs.
Hashtag triggered. Jeez. What set him off this time? Oh, he called the bee snagger snake bites again. Remember? It was Bracket's saying we don't actually know how many units will be released. The Penfold-looking fellow, bless, said about 50%, not 50% precisely. Yeah, 50. You know.
Yeah, no, you could, yeah.
Pocket's saying it would be nice if Tank Buses Commandos got some new life. That would be really nice if they got plastic kits. It would help quite a lot, considering how much those units are played now. True, but that's what I mean about seeing what way the Codex goes. Are we gonna have...
As long as those commandos didn't look like they did in the picture, and they don't literally make miniatures of an orc head sticking out of a barrel or a bush with some arms sticking out of it. I
wouldn't put it past them.
I don't want to see that.
Maybe like the new orc commando will literally just be like the barrels and terrain they sell with like.
If they do that, they can just fuck off. I think it's hilarious when people make their own ones. I think they look brilliant and they look hilarious and it's quirky and it's fun. That's cool. I do not want to buy a miniature like that.
But no, you know, they might give it the Imperial Guard touch, you know, where it's just an orc head sprue with like orc heads popping out of stuff and arms and limbs that are coming out of hatches and stuff like that. You know,
if they do give us that Imperial Guard sprue that they revealed on the same day that we got all the orc reveals, if they gave us an upgrade sprue for fucking current boys or something, man, how welcome would that be? That'd be so cool.
Definitely some more heads would, you know, add to the variety, especially, you know.
That'd be brilliant.
If you have 90 boys, you know what I mean, and you're not, like, because the aesthetic of some of the third-party stuff isn't quite on point with the Games Workshop look. You know what I mean? So if they give us like, even if they give us like 10 orc heads, you know what I mean? I'd be pleading.
Yeah, a few different heads.
I'd buy that for $1.
Accessories and arms and stuff.
A few bits and pieces, yeah. Give us some new weapons or something, you know?
That would be cool.
Maybe some shoulder-mounted weapons. That was in the release. The generic orc boyish. I did notice that. A few shits here, folks. Someone has deployed the gremlins.
Oh, seems to have sorted itself out. It was buffering there for me for a bit.
Happy days. Thank Christ. Not in the mood for one of them. It's like, no, it's gone to hell in the hangout. Not again.
Yeah, we seem to be all right.
Poke is giving out about the knob and the kit. Fix the knob and the boys kit. That horrendous torso. Yeah. I don't really use them, to be honest with you. I actually take knobs from the knob kit. I build a knob from the knob kit and go from there. But I can understand, especially for someone starting out, if that's, you know, if that's.
So starting out, yeah. I mean, the knob kit is one of the cheapest kits we've got, and one of the better kits we've got. So you buy one of them, and there you go. You got a load of knobs you can use to lead your boys. And what it does mean, having a shit knob in the box, means you get 11 boys.
This is true.
You get your little Brucey bonus in there. It's really handy.
Here's what you could have won. I know that's not Brucey, but even still.
So what do you of the stuff that's been shown thus far? Is there? Well, let's just do two questions in one. Has there been one of them that sort of stands out to you as you're like, oh, I like that, and then has there been one where you're like, yeah, not for me?
I think the one that I like the most is probably the one you're hearing a lot of backlash against, the very generic war boss. I out of all the releases,
I'm pleased to hear you say that, because I really like that one as well, actually.
See, what great minds think alike, Steve-O.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Great minds think alike. I like the war boss, and I'd like to see more stuff along that lines come out. But I think that's because the rest of it has a set sort of aesthetic and look, because they are a sub-faction. And they don't really, you know, tickle me fancy as such. I'm not going to be clambering to get to the shop as soon as possible. I mean, I'll be clambering to get my hands on a new Codex. That's what I'm interested to see what happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah, the war boss so far. And ones that I don't like... I mean, like, it's not terrible, but I'm not too pushed about Snagga, to be honest with you. I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, you know. I'm not excited about the sculpt, you know what I mean? But that's just me, you know.
So he's one of the highlights for me.
Well, there we can agree and both disagree within, you know, the same conversation.
There you go.
And not kill each other.
And not tear lumps off each other. Take notice, internet.
What you mean you don't
possible.
like them?
Someone on the internet disagrees with me.
I can't believe you just said that. How could you? I thought we were friends. Oh, good. But yeah, I'll keep saying it, but it's like, it's Codex. What's going to happen with the Codex, Steve-O? Maybe because we still have like so many unknowns to a certain degree. But, you know, we've been shown a few little bits and pieces of rules, like Wart Snagga, and there's
we had a bit of leak of Gazzy stats, didn't we?
Yeah, kind of ish, yeah. It's like the little bit of paper that comes in for construction. I'm like, all right, you know, I kind of...
Yeah, it's shown a few little bits, isn't it, of what he's, you know, some slight changes and things to him.
But I really am curious as to what they're going to do with, like, a few key things in our Codex that I find we rely on, like the stratagems. Like, there's 3 things that I think that are, in and of themselves, if they're changed, will totally change the army.
Yeah.
The clan rules. What they do with the clan rules will be interesting. I'd like to see the clan rules be more in line with each other, because currently I think there's like favourites overall. You know what I mean?
Bad Moons, Evil Sons, Death Skulls. Like the top tier ones, aren't they?
Definitely. And saying that, I want to see... I'm wondering how many people are going to change clans because they'll like a different clan's rules.
Oh, fuel jump shit, won't they?
Yeah,
they'll change with the... Change
No,
with the wind.
No changing clans on the Discords. Pick and stick. Huh?
That's it.
Pick and stick.
Pick and stick. That's it. Be a loyalist.
Don't be a dread.
Don't be a dread.
Well, dread is Captain Turncoat. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's kind of expected of him. You know what I mean? But I do have a bit of a guilty pleasure seeing who's going to jump ship and change clans. Are we going to be seeing? Are we going to be seeing armies painted up different colours? You know, are people going to be jumping off the Bad Moon, the Death Skull, the Evil Sun bandwagons?
I will be Bad Moons for life, but I haven't fully decided yet. I probably won't decide until I'm literally painting them. But I may take the Beast Snaggers in a different direction and have them as a mix in something else with my army. Just because of how different they are. I've always liked snake bites, so I may do them as a snake bite contingent within my army, or something else entirely. I don't know yet, really, because they look like especially all the squigs and stuff. They look like they're going to be really fun to paint, and you could get really creative with your choice of colours and things, and do something very unique with them.
Oh, that little snot or the grot on the squig with the bombs and the mono wheel is hilarious.
Yeah, I like that.
Absolutely hilarious.
Brandishing nothing but a rusty nail. Absolutely superb.
Enthusiasm. We've go back to the comments section. We've a few more heads popping up. The red mech. What's the story? Gear Guts is in the house. What's the crack, Kyle? Did it. Right. Jesus, they've been banging on. Mark Hall's here. Nice to see you're still working on a green, even on a Battletech. Yep, this is it, Mark. This is my excuse. I'm still painting green, so I'm sticking to it. We'll get there eventually.
You don't know that there's not orcs inside them things driving them.
Wait, look, so, you could do. If I got my hand on resin printer and printed some 6mm orcs, like, you know what I mean, I'd have no problems with making.
Yeah, they're all just looted orc vehicles.
This is it. Casey Mad was saying he's most excited about the Mega Armored War Boss. The Gate Man is super pumped for the Mega Armored War Boss. He's excited for the new Bone Boss as well. It would be interesting to see what happens with that.
Yeah, that's the other. I was trying to remember what's the other thing that we've seen on the artwork, and that's it. I forgot that.
Keegan's is saying he wants to know what the other half of the previews are. Yep. Dim was saying if that KFF was effort, I hate to see them phone it in. Dim. He'd be okay. Someone make him a brew. Poor Dim. Mind you, he probably drinks Earl Grey or something. Ugh. Ugh. Some pansy tea.
I bet he does. I bet he does with his monocle in place.
Well, actually, I think you'll find.
While reading a fucking book.
A cluster of thesaurus or thesauri. Would it be? Would plural of thesaurus under his arm?
I'll let Dim answer that. He'll answer that far better than I ever could.
Mostly
Because he'll
Zen.
actually know the answer.
Well, this is it. I'll see Zen. Yeah, I want to see the one boss and whatever the squig car thing is. Yeah, the squig car thing, chariot, whatever it's called. I'd be interested in that as well. Poker saying...
Oh, go on. I'll let you carry on reading.
There's a lot. Poker saying, I think some scripted lore videos would be cool. Orc lore. The nipple. That's... Yeah. True. Tom saying a video on all the different types of squigs would be funny. Gear Guts, I want the chariot to have 2 build options, a weird boy terror in brackets HQ and a heavy choice. That would be interesting, actually. So you can build a heavy choice and then have a free plastic weird boy. Ooh, that's not bad thinking, that.
Yeah, I like that thinking.
Tom is saying fair orcs have just been isolated and mechs haven't made guns yet. Snake bites are hipsters who say they were using balls before they were cool. That's from Tom. That's hilarious.
That is who said that?
Tom, mostly Zen, Tom.
Oh, Tom. Yeah, you get plus 10 XP for that.
Definitely. Poke, new heads, new guns, you sell me. Yeah, would be a good an update like the even head update like the Imperial Guard for orcs. I think would be brilliant, and some new gun arms as well.
Cool to see that they're still doing upgrade sprues. I thought they were almost like a thing of the past, so that's cool.
Gitman is saying he wants some Zog and plastic death copters. That's a fair point. You know what I mean? That is a fair point right there.
I feel like we've already got too much good. I just don't think they're going to be that nice to us.
Look,
you never know. You never know.
Hold on. Are you pumping the brakes on the hype train? What's going on here?
I've got my limits, mate.
I would have thought you'd be shoveling coal and getting that sucker into low orbit by now. You know, well, Suzanne, Tom saying, I'd like to see a new modular boys kit with lots of extra bits and options, but also keep the old boys kit and make them interchangeable. Yeah, something like that. You know, just keep the core one we have and just add more sprues into it. I'll be quite happy. You know what I mean? I'd be quite happy if we could buy them in bigger box sets, like, you know.
Buy them in a box of 30.
Oh, yeah, man.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
I mean, it'd probably cost you an arm and a leg, but yeah.
Yeah.
Poke saying agreement. Plastic Def Cop is a good idea. The all metal knobs are great, says Tom. I just found a Gorka Morka knobs too, and the Assault and Black Reach knobs are different too. There is actually a bit of variety if you go looking for them. The Gorka Morka ones are going to be metal though, which is may be a bit of a knock for anyone new. But like, I do have covered under layers of dust. I do have like that's the Assault and Black Reach knob, and it's perfectly serviceable. And yes, I do put my knobs in 32mm bases. You know, but that's about it.
Yeah, I use Black Reach knobs. I use the current knobs. I've got old metal knobs. I mix them all together, and they're all very. The metal knobs are ever so slightly smaller than the current knobs, but not by much.
Yeah, not too far off.
It's a height difference that they're still bigger than boys. And it's a height difference that is barely noticeable. And they would be all slightly different heights, you know. So they're still in scale, and they still hold up really well and look great, and they mesh in well. They don't clash at all.
This is going to be the interesting thing with these new sculpts is like how mahusive are they going to be? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Brack is saying Zogrod is pure perfection. GW can stop making models now.
Who said that?
Brack. Brack is a big fan of the Zogrod sculpt.
Right.
Nice. Very nice.
I thought it was Dim saying it sarcastically.
I love, it's like, you know, Brack's being sincere and enjoying it, and it's like we just assume it would be sarcasm from Dim, but you know, it's the love of the internet. It could go either way, you know what I mean? They could switch positions. We wouldn't know.
Yeah. The thought I had that I've held on to is obviously we've got another little tidbit that they've said to us that there is another character coming, and that he is a snakebite character. And that's pretty much all they've given us. Didn't say the return of a character, so it could be an existing old classic character from the lore, or it could be a brand new character. So that was really surprising when I was reading the rules for Zodgrod, that he's not the last one. There's another character coming. I'm like, so that in itself is a massive success story for us, in that we're getting new characters. Like, you're not taking characters away, you're giving us characters. Like, finally. I mean, every codex that we've had, they've been just dropping like flies, haven't they? There's very few left from what we used to have, so that is really exciting. And personally, I am hoping it is old Zogwart. Although I think he's technically like Zodgrod, in that he's more of a freebooter now. That he was a snakebite, but he's more of a freebooter. But regardless, that's what I hope anyway. And I hope he comes with a special little squig that has some kind of Space Marine parts on it, so you've got it there on standby for when he turns someone into a squig.
So for anyone who's kind of new to orcs, any new players, back in 4th, 5th edition with our 4th edition codex, we had old Zogwart, who was a weird boy, and his special psychic ability was he could turn an opponent into a squig, and you replaced. So, like, you'd go up to Marnius Calgar, you'd have a little roll off, and if the orc player won, Marnius Calgar got turned into a squig. So, if you're
bitch, some of that, it's just gotta happen. It's gotta happen. It just, please, GW, please. I'm trying to think of other snakebite characters, and I can't.
None spring to mind for myself either. Maybe someone in the comment section.
Zodgrod and Zogwart would be the two that would.
Yeah, they'd be the first.
I think outside of them. So it could be a completely brand new character, which would also be very cool. So it's always awesome to have the return of old classic characters for sure. But I'm totally open to brand new characters as well, because that would be fun to have some new characters and new stories to sink our teeth into.
Well, this is it. I would agree with you. I think you're right there. If it's not, if it's not how we think it is, then it has to be a new one. And then, yeah, new characters for us. I mean, it's been a while. Who was the last one that they did for us?
Well, I guess Makari. I guess.
But Makari is an old. He was an old returning.
In terms of like the last
last new character we got.
Gruck Face Ripper, I guess.
Yeah. So Gruck was the last new guy that we got, and they killed him off. But boo. Gruck.
They killed him off, and then he's still around, but he's not around. But he's got a different name. Sometimes he's got a specific name for Kill Team, and then he's got a name for 40k. But he's a generic war boss.
I hear he likes
split opinion.
This is it. I hear he likes to limbo because he's there all the time. There you go, Dim. There's one for you. I told you. These terrible puns. Will Dawn was
and Dim in here, so dad jokes are going to go down very well.
Left and right. It's going to be like a bar fight, just dad jokes, terrible puns thrown in, someone getting one in the eye. Was that a joke, or are you happy to see me, we have a few more comments. Giggles is saying, I'm suspicious that Snakebite in quotes character was a mistake and they meant Beast Snagga since they referred to the Squig Riders as Snakebites too. I think the character is the Bone Boss. Okay. Ooh, that's a good point. Tom agrees. Gateman thinks old Zogwart. It's gonna be old Zogwart, he thinks. Orcstuff is saying +1 for save the truck. This is true. Brack, this release seems to be all about characters, at least models with the character keyword. There's a few. Yeah, there is a few. Like, I think there's more characters than what we're used to.
Yeah, what we got? We got the Pain Boss, the Smasher Squig, Zodgrod, Bone Boss,
D Stonks
Megabots.
333 was
Yeah.
saying they mentioned on the video about the new boys with their new trucks ?
Mhm.
They did say something about that. I'll be surprised if there's a new truck, to be honest with you. But I understand what you're thinking, Stonks. I do get what you're saying because
Could be a new set, Truck Boys set, Truck and some boys in a set together.
did you remember they used to sell the box sets like that?
Yes.
They were brilliant. They were. I got a couple of them myself. But yeah, that's right. They used to sell like boys.
I've even
Boys
got
and trucks,
I even
let's say.
got one of the not too long ago, a couple of years ago. I got one of the Revel ones of the old truck and the old boys
Jesus!
that they were still selling.
But that's not calling that a truck's a bit of a. I mean, unless you're playing Gorka, if you're playing Gorka Morka, then game on. But now it's like it's a bleeding go kart. Like, come on.
Yeah, I didn't build it. I just used the parts for other things.
I mean, the wheels are good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they went on some mech guns.
I had a feeling you were gonna say mech guns there. I was like, those wheels are prime for a Luton. Velgarn is saying Snagga boys are Primaris for orcs. Are they though? I don't know. I kind of see them more as Scar boys. You know what I mean? That space between Nobz and boys. I don't know if they're like Primaris as such.
I think what people are saying when they're saying that is that I think the cynical side of people is thinking these are the replacement for traditional boys, but they're not out and out replacing them. They're doing like almost like a Primaris thing in that old boys will be phased out slowly and be Snaggers will come. But I don't think they're doing that. And I also hope they're not doing that because that would be terrible.
I don't think they're going to do the Primaris treatment with all the factions because I think if they were, they wouldn't have bothered. Like the Imperial Guard helmet release really has given me a bit of hope with the old boy kit. It surprised me in that.
And regard. The Mega Armored War Boss and the return of Big Mech KFF rules, and there's lots of good little bits that ease the worries on that side.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with you there. Yeah, there's signs that things aren't all doom and gloom. Jesus, me being slightly optimistic, what has the world come to?
Jeez.
Am I feeling that?
Velgarn says, I'm just going to read that comment out because I like it. Velgarn says, Steve-O gets it. You're damn right I do. Get what? I don't know, but I get it.
But he gets it.
I get it.
Gets it. One of us.
Hobby Git says, well, it'll be a poorly written codex, so on brand, really.
Look, if nothing else, at least Dim's consistent. You know what I mean? We'll give him that much.
That's true.
We can't knock him for for not being consistent on his.
He's keeping it real. He's keeping it real.
Yes, indeed.
Mostly Zen says, what we need is for this Orc Codex to be massively, massively overpowered and for Orcs to reign supreme for a year. Orc sales to go through the roof, leading to more Orc releases in the future. And then if Orcs get needed but only to a normal level, all the power gamers sell their Orcs cheap on eBay.
I like his thinking. Very,
yeah. While I don't necessarily agree with what he's just said, I do see the logic in his thinking there. He's just wants to get some cheap Orcs on eBay, basically.
Definitely. So we'll go through a shortage as demand skyrockets, and then in a year or so later, when they're no longer, the new hotness.
I wouldn't like them to become overpowered even for a short while because I would find them less fun to play in that regard if they were.
I'd agree with you there, but I'm sure there's some individuals in our community who would wholeheartedly disagree with us on that front.
Yeah, I bet. Some will have a massive hard-on for overpowered Orcs for sure.
Oh, Jesus. 17 attacks on the charge. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have some of that.
How many kill tanks in your Orc army? 9. Good. This will be fun.
Fun? What is this fun you speak of? No guts, no glory. Isn't that what they say? No guts, no galaxy. There you go. There's a battle for you.
But there's like I'm excited like yourself about the Codex as well. I'm excited for the army box if I can get my hands on one.
I don't know
If they
what to
don't
do.
have like,
With this,
because that comes with the Codex, doesn't
but
it?
this is I'm conflicted on that front. I'm like, I'd like to get my hands on the Codex.
I mean, I'm only gonna get it if I can get it. If I miss that boat or I can't get it, I'm not buying that off scalpers. Nothing, no way.
No,
I'm not paying through the nose for it. If I get it, I get it. Happy days. If I don't, tough luck. But the reason I want it, is because those boxes just always offer great value. You save a lot of money. And then we've still got the Combat Patrol box to come after that as well, which could have completely different stuff in it for also with some money saving in it. So
all new models potentially. I don't know. There's a lot of the Combat Patrol stuff is just being like rebox bits and bobs. We haven't really seen much new in the Combat Patrols for other armies, but I don't know. Like, what do you reckon would go on a Combat Patrol for Orcs?
Well, I was saying before they surprised us all and revealed an army box. I was sort of thinking, be Snagger boys, Squighog, very similar to what we're getting in this set, really, but on a smaller scale. I was thinking like be Snagger boys, Squighog riders, and like the Pain Boss, and maybe a little something else. I don't know. That's kind of what I was thinking at the time, and maybe it will just be a slightly stripped down version of the army box. Maybe it will be what you've got there, but a bit less. I don't know. It's
a hard one to call.
They're quite unpredictable at the moment because a lot of what we've been predicting and wish listing and things, what they've come out with, is a lot of it's bolts out of the blue. I certainly wasn't expecting Zodgrod, and I wasn't expecting releases on this scale of just the number of them and stuff. So it's they've. I wouldn't want to put money down on anything at the moment with what new releases are going to be or what they're going to put in boxes because they're throwing a few curveballs at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. But, no complaints on that front, I have to say. Quite happy with that. Quite happy on that regard.
Mostly Zed says, I just bought a copy of War the Orcs, so I don't mind spending. Ooh. I bet.
How much? Jesus, how much? Like, I bought a copy of that, I think, like 15 years ago, and it was, I spent a few quid getting it then, so I can only imagine that it will cost an arm and a leg now. Good old Warg the Orcs. It's full of, it's just a lore book, do you know that? There's no rules in it.
Yeah.
It's just a lore book, like, it's really cool, though.
And what's the other one? What's the freebooters one, isn't there?
There's Warg the Orcs. There's there's a book literally called Freebooters.
Yeah, that's even rarer, isn't it? I think.
No, Warg the Orcs is the rare one out of it because it was the lore book. I don't think there was as much of it sold, whereas the other two books, were rule books, so they're common enough, or at least
Bobby gets called it. Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah. So Here We Go was the core sort of rule book for the Orcs, and then the Freebooters was sort of like a bolt-on, so you get any in Freebooter warbands, and there's all manner of stuff in there. Like you could get Ogrins, you could get Gene Stealer, Cultist Orcs as part of your warband. There was Khorne Berserker Orcs, Disciples of Khorne. It was a different time.
So it was really valuable for today as like resource, books.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've got all the other ones going back all the way back to second edition. They're all very cheap to get hold of.
The human warbands, you got it,
and they're fantastic books for resource of info and lore and just pictures and inspiration. They're great to have just on your shelf as something to read and interesting. But yeah, them old ones are fantastic. Like I need to get hold of another copy of the Rogue Trader rulebook because that's a fucking awesome read. There's just so much goodness in that book. It's just literally throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. So much madness in there. It's just fantastic. It's a great book to read. To just the bestiary bit where it's just got all the loads of different little short bits about different flora and fauna throughout the galaxy, and there's just so much madness in there, and it's awesome to read.
Yeah,
It's
there's rules for
great
like the
inspiration and
Catachan
stuff.
devils and
Yeah,
stuff you've heard about in the lore, but you've never seen really on the tabletop. You know what I mean? There's just bits and pieces in there.
and
Really,
basically you're reading a book from all those years ago, but essentially what you're probably reading is future releases, because they love to dip into their back catalogue of so much stuff, and
yeah, like
it's
Zotes. They
this,
brought Zotes back,
yeah,
didn't they?
Zotes,
Stuff with
the
squats.
squats,
Yeah,
enslavers, there's so much, yeah, so much good shit.
there's good bits and pieces. There's quite a lot in the past that could be dug up and used. They don't even have to. They don't even have to go out of their way to make new stuff, but they're doing that as well. So you just never know what way it goes. I'm trying to think: is there any abstract Snake Boy characters that it could
I'm sure
potentially be
there's
equivalent?
lots in the books. I've read about some in the various codexes and things like there. I know there was a snakebite war boss that Gazgol had to decapitate like 2 or 3 times before he finally bent the knee. So like and it could be maybe a character that they've referenced like that in some way, but it's never had rules or a miniature in the maybe, or like I say, it could be something completely brand new,
It would be
or it
cool if
could
they
be
did something like
Sod
that
War.
for Tuska. Could you imagine we got like a Tuska? I always think when people talk about like mad war bosses or characters that haven't gotten them the miniature or much done on them, I think like Tuska has always been like,
Oh, they'd print money because Chaos players would be keen as well, I think.
yeah, if he was like a Demon Prince sort of thing, you could do that. You
Yeah,
could have him
he'd
in,
probably
you
get
could have him in both
rules where he could
factions.
be used in both factions. Yeah, for sure.
That'd be cool, man.
You could do crazy stuff there. Yeah, Tusker would be a license to print money because people would like just bite their hand off for a miniature of him for
True.
sure.
Definitely. Better late than never. Dreadwire Gaming popped in to say hello. I'll have to watch it back in the middle of something else. What's the story, bud? He says for his part, he's excited for the new stuff, even if the minis don't quite do it for me. Nothing we've ever got was perfect. Yes, they've come close before, but now it's still potential to me. Well, this is Dread. Dread can't look at a miniature without thinking, I could chop that hand off and give him a weapon swap. Or there's always something, you know? Like you give him perfection,
Yeah.
like, a red gobbo or something like that. Even the old red gobbo sculpt, which is, it's heresy to chop
Yeah, he's
one
like,
down.
I can put a power claw on that.
I'm like, no, leave it alone. Leave it alone.
But I guess the thing is with that though, the more expensive and rare miniature, if
The
you
more,
convert it,
the more he
you know
wants.
you're going to have something a bit more unique because not many people are going to have wanted to have done that. So
This is true. Not many people would have been brave enough to try and take the saw blade to a rare miniature or such. You know what I mean? I can see the allure of such blasphemy in my eyes.
Dread raises a very good point there. New exciting conversion potential, not just in the new minis, but in proxying them with your own versions. This is a really good point. In particular, with things like the Squighog Riders. Even if you did, I've seen a lot of comments of people bemoaning that the look of them, they're not for them, they don't like them, and a lot of people missing the classic Boar Boys and wanting them. Well, I mean, this is still really good news for you people because people have currently been if they are using Boar Boys, they're probably using
Biker rules,
Boy
I think.
rules,
Yeah.
which
People are using
don't
biker rules.
really. They the closest thing in the current codex to represent them on the table, but they're not. It's not really doesn't really work. So I think whether you're using the Boar Boys or whatever they're called from Age of Sigmar, them big fellas, or whether you're using the old classic ones, whatever, these rules are going to represent them a lot better. And yeah, maybe like Dredd says, convert your own versions of these things, modify them, do things with them. So even if you're not fully sold on the miniatures, I think you could still get a lot out of all this new releases with the rules and things, whether that mean proxying different things or converting them or kit bashing your own versions of them. there could still be a lot of good in this for you.
Oh, definitely. I think there is going to be, we're going to see a wave of conversion potential where there is just that, where people aren't happy with the original sculpt or the new sculpt that'll come out, and orc players will do what orc players always do. If they don't like something, you know, either they'll chop and change the model itself or they'll build their own version of it. So I don't think that's going to change.
Like Dim's doing, use the old model for Zogwart.
That's true. That's true. You could do that as well.
Play him again in the current rules.
And just stick him on whatever base, and away you go. This is it. I'd be interested to see what people are going to be doing with grots in that regard, or if they're going to differentiate his grots. You know what I mean? It's more excuses and more potential for doing your own thing, really. You know. So that will be.
I quite liked the new rules for the grots. I think they got some interesting stuff. We were chatting in the Discord before come on with. I've had a lot of comments on my video that people being a bit underwhelmed by the buffs to grots from Zodgrod, but I don't know what people were expecting. I mean, they were sort of saying, well, you know, so they hit better, they're still not going to achieve a lot. I'm like, yeah, because they're still grots. You know, they're not just going to suddenly become Primaris killing machines. That would be ridiculous, but they're just grots that are a bit better, a bit more highly trained, a bit more focused, a bit more.
Well, I don't know. I think it's early days to be dissing stuff. You know what I mean? I'd like to see, because we don't know what way the Codex is going to go. We really don't. Like, for me, it's...
In an objective-driven game, they've got the nice... I thought the rule where they can perform actions without having to forgo shooting and stuff. It's a really good ability. Really good ability. Because that like raised banners and the various ones like that in 9th edition that you've got to not do anything else to perform the action. It's kind of... People tend to avoid them ones a bit because they're like, no, there's easier ones I can achieve. You know, I don't have, but that's a really powerful rule that could make the difference in a game. I think.
Do you think it'll make them more than 5 points though? What do you reckon? Are we going to see a points decrease? Or?
They raise the points. Never mind. I'm talking about raising banners, not fucking points. They can fuck off. If they drop them to 3 points, I'll be over the moon. If they drop them to 4, I'll be like, yeah, that's fair. I'll accept that. If I imagine they'll probably stay fucking 5 points though. So,
well, you know, I wouldn't be too. They'd have to do something with them. If they're gonna keep them at 5, they need to give them a little something. You know what I mean? Maybe let them have clan traits. I really don't see why grots can't have clan traits, or, you know, are they gonna start folding in some of the like Saga of the Beast? Stuff into the main codex? Like, is that going to get folded in?
So, exactly. Nothing's guaranteed, is it?
I don't know. There's so many variables, like,
because we haven't had it long. I mean, it did come out. The Saga of the Beast came out during 9th, so it was released for 9th. So it would be really shitty of them to just lose the majority of the stuff from that. Obviously, things are carrying over like Gaz and you know, etc. But I would be devastated if we lost things like custom jobs and stuff, and some of the really cool psychic powers and stratagems that you get in that. I really hope that was almost like a dry run, like a test bed for some trial things for the new codex, and that it will be folded into the new codex.
Let's see.
That book.
It's a bit weird.
Love that book.
It's a good book, but it's a bit weird, like, because of, you know, globally what went on, you know, for its release and what's happened. Yeah. Like, I haven't really used that book at all.
Which is the case with a lot of people, I think.
Yeah. So it would be weird, you know, it'd be kind of strange if that book got, you know, pushed to the side. And it's like, I think that's the first time I've bought a book for the orcs and never actually got to use it. It would be a bit of the timing would be a bit strange on it. It would be. But yeah, there's a lot of potential and so many unknowns, even as Brack is saying, so many unknowns excited for the new codex. There's quite a lot of unknowns, and I think with that comes a lot of potential.
A lot of excitement, but also a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, there's going to be a bit of anxiety and a bit of excitement, but you know, I'm just curious. I think more so than anything else. I'm not dreading what's going to come out or isn't going to come out. What's going to be added? What's going to get the chop? I'm just curious. You know what I mean? I'm like, I wonder what
Yeah.
they're gonna do with it, because I don't really know at all. Like,
I think it'll be like every codex. What we can guarantee is there's going to be some good stuff in there, and there's going to be some stuff we don't like in there. I think that's pretty much a certainty. We're not going to open it up, and every single data sheet and every single stratagem is like, wow, that's awesome. It's just not. We're going to be like, oh, that's a bit overcosted, or that's a bit weak, or we're going to have some things, we're going to see things and go, oh, why have they changed that? It was so much better before. And that always happens. We're going to get that, but hopefully we get more of the good, and the ratio of good to bad is definitely, you know,
and a bit of ugly.
yeah. I mean, I'm probably more hopeful, more confident, I guess, than ever before that we're gonna get some really good stuff in this. I think they're really given. I mean, this is the most love GW have given orcs since like 3rd edition, isn't it? Like in terms of the amount of releases and the focus on them and what they're doing.
It's a bit crazy. I'm surprised with you, Steve-O. I really, honest to Gork, I thought you would be giving SpaceX a run for their money. You'd be smashing that red button, and that hype train would be gone. Just a red streak in the sky. It's got all the boosters on it. All the buttons have been smashed and flipped and.
Well, some things happened. I met Dim.
I'm sorry.
So that happened.
That's my fault. I'm sorry. I apologise.
And other things happened. So I was on that hype train for the buggies, and then that hype train came to a crashing, devastating end. And then since then, I've kind of filtered to sort of middle ground, as in they're all right. They're all right. I'm not. I went from being hype. These look awesome, to being like, oh, these are shit. There's no options. There's nothing. That's all we got, and they're so restrictive. And then I've petered out into sort of like, you know, they're all right for what they are. They're good. Vigilus happened.
Don't.
Like nobody can defend Vigilus to me. I don't care how good the souped up shocker was. I don't care how good that was. The book was boring as fuck. The rules were incredibly underwhelming. It was just a massive waste of money, and it was crap. But then Saga of the Beast came, and Saga of the Beast was I have a hard on for Saga of the Beast. I just fucking it. I like the current Codex. I'd be happy with it for another couple of years, quite frankly. But with the Saga of the Beast, like that, just combined with makes the whole faction like really fun to play on the table. That just injected so much choice and fun and buffs and just so much goodness to that Codex. A fantastic book. So there's been ups and downs. Gazzy was a cool release. So we've had some good stuff. We've had some very underwhelming stuff. So I'm very excited. I am very much on the hype train, but I've got that I've got that realism, you know, that
the foot isn't as welded to the floor. No, it's like there's a little bit of give there. You know, there's a little bit of,
certainly.
We're not in the red on the rev counter. You know what I mean? The pistons aren't quite coming out of the bonnet. Yeah, he hasn't hit the NOS button, but you know, there's still potential. But yeah, it's cautious optimism.
Yes.
Would that be the
very much so. I mean, if they announce over the next few days that Nasdreg's coming back, then I mean, holy shit, you're going to see hype train just hit.
I expect
9.
I expect full yellow body paint and streaking in public.
Oh, that's totally. Yeah. Just you can expect it the day they announce that. You can expect a very special video from me. I'll tell you that much. I don't know what it'll be, but I'll do something.
Kirgut's is saying Vigilus was good when it came out. It gave orcs a competitive buff while waiting for Night to come out, and it changed stuff up. It wasn't good for much, But for the competitive scene, it did help for a bit. It did a little bit, but I think it's the same thing again. It's the same potential that we have at the moment. There's a lot of one-trick ponies, you know what I mean? And leaning too heavily on only one thing, I think, is really
Yeah, you just had every orc player using the souped-up shocker.
Shocker, yeah.
Which was cool. It was a cool thing, but it was like one thing and like...
yeah, I'd like to see stuff more well-rounded, you know what I mean? Instead of there being... Like, especially when it comes to the clans and the Codex, I'd like it to be that the clan traits are well-rounded to the point where if you were going to pick a new clan, it would be really hard for you. You know what I mean? There wouldn't just be like an outlier or two. I'd really like it so that you'd be like, oh Jesus, well these are good at this aspect, but these are good at that. You know what I mean?
Difficult choices show that the balance is there. If you're if you're scratching your head and it's really because you're like, oh, I really want that, but that's really cool too. And if I have that, it can do this. If you're having to have those, if you're going through that, then that shows that the Codex, the rules are well written and they're well balanced, and you're having to make tough decisions. Tough decisions, whether when building your army or on the battlefield, means that something's going right. That's good. If you're going, well, obviously it's that's shit. That's really good. That's not good. Like that just shows poor balance. So yeah, I'd definitely like to see a rebalancing of psychic powers as well, so that not everyone uses the jump. That there's something else in there. Like, well, I really like the jump, but that looks really good as well, and that could be powerful in a completely different way. Whereas at the moment we look like, yeah, I'm still going to take the jump because the rest of the stuff is just nah.
Yeah, it's so good in comparison to the other.
It is.
That's there. We have Dave is asking, you reckon GW would give you an early orc codex? I take it this question is for Steve-O, because I highly doubt.
Oh yeah. Well, this is where the big deal thing came from. This was me. I was disgusted with GW. They ignore my calls. It's like they don't even know who I am. It's like I don't even appear on their radar. I mean, what the fuck's going on?
Don't say such things, Steve-O.
I've got my fucking mug and everything, like, you know? Come on. Big fucking deal.
I sadly broke mine. I dropped mine. Do you know that? I was heartbroken. I need to order another one. I did. I told you. I was asking you. I was like, where do I order a new one? Because I broke my other one. I need a new one.
Oh.
It's the closest I've come to crying in a very long time, I'd say to you. You know? Heartbroken I was.
Oh, it makes me sad. That is the only Skarner mug that exists, that one.
Well, it doesn't anymore, so none of them exist. I know they're super rare.
If I break this one, there's still another one out there, because Big Mick Danskull's got the other one.
Well, I'll have to get a link off. You'll get another one. Gearguts is saying Vigilus was pale DLC, though, a patch that only applied for a while. True. It felt that way. And going through the lore of Vigilus, I was like, sweet Jesus. But, you know,
Such a yawn fest.
It's water under the bridge.
Such a yawn fest.
Tom is saying orcs need a one-trick pony for a weapon option. The pony is highly explosive. That's the trick. I like your thinking, Tom. It'd be like
he's got a way with words, that man.
He does. He's a crafty devil there, Tom. That just makes me think of. Do you remember the 2D scroller game Worms?
Yes.
Where there'd be like the sheep.
The sheep.
Yeah, you'd send the sheep out, so the orcs just have the one-trick pony. Gearguts is saying they tend to pick channels with 10k plus. Just need to rally the community to get Steve-O higher for follower count. This is Steve-O.
Do you know what? I think they even go a bit higher than that these days. Because even old Idic Beer, he wasn't able to get early access to a lot of the Necron stuff, and he is the Necron channel on YouTube with.
Mad.
What's he? I think he's around that 20k mark now.
No,
I think he's certainly heading in that direction.
He has a
I mean, in terms of YouTube, you know, that is be considered a small channel compared to some of the really, really big boys out there. But yeah, I don't know. It's I'm under no illusion. I don't think I'll ever be getting any early access stuff from GW.
You never know. You know what I mean? I think if you go super heavy into the competitive scene or something like that, and you started going to tournaments, you know what I mean? That,
Yeah, it's
it
not
might
going
go
to
that way.
happen. You're
You
not going to
never
see me
know,
on the channel
Steve-O.
wearing a polo shirt. No, it's not going to happen, man.
I think we're gonna have to band together to get him the big deal polo shirt. What do you reckon, lads? You know what I mean? Make it happen. It has to happen.
Yeah, I think I've even seen some of the big channels sort of stop doing that. The I don't know what they call it, but they've kind of turned GW down on getting their stuff because I think there's a bit of restrictions and stuff and things from them. I don't know. What was the channel that I saw that was saying that recently? One of the big ones, and he said he didn't want to do it anymore. Or whatever. I didn't like. I don't know if there's certain restrictions or things you can do or not
Yeah,
do or
I think
whatever.
there's probably something.
I imagine certain aspects of my content wouldn't sit well with them, and I wouldn't be prepared to change that to get free shit off them.
Oh, but what? Being honest.
Well, yeah, that for one, yeah. They probably wouldn't be a fan of the language.
Not that we're saying that others who do get codexes are being dishonest. You know what I mean? That's not what we're saying here. Disclaimer.
Well, it's not what I'm saying.
Fuck it. Yeah. Oh, it's like keep on digging, Scare. Keep on digging. Totally. I'm thinking about giving this squig that I've been sculpting. So I have actually been doing a bit of orky stuff as well. I haven't been neglecting the orc front. I have, for our May challenge, there was a few options we had, and this is the one that I was working on, where it's the squig from the Runt Hoarder kit, and I've done up the top part of the head. I've redone it. I think this was missing the head was the problem I had. I got rid of the arms. I wasn't too fond of the little T-Rex arms that I had, so I got rid of the arms and I filed it back, and I've sculpted the top part of the head. But what I'm actually thinking of doing is doing sort of like a metal jaw, you know, a mechanical jaw for it.
Oh yeah.
It'll be the squig for the Runt Herder, and there's the Runt Herder himself. He's kind of. He's a little bit more sort of leaning towards feral orcs or something like that, or snake pipes.
Nice. Yeah, got one of the fantasy heads on there.
I've given him a fantasy helmet, and I've given him like the mace. It's a big Zogga mace, and the pose is going for something sort of like.
That is a brutal looking grot rod right there. Yeah.
Well, this is it. You know what I mean? It's sort of he's pointing towards a target and sicking the squig on him. So. That's what I'll be going for once I get a bit more done on it. So you can tell it's a Runt Herd, but it's got a little bit of something going. You know what I mean?
It's a shame the current rules and points for the Runt Herd are just so crap because I really like the model. I really do like the Runt Herd model.
Yeah, it's like I've loads of them. Obviously, like hundreds of grots. Sorry, I played in loads of these.
Massively overcosted.
Yeah.
Massively. I remember when they used to be like 10 points. Now they're like 30 something odd points. It's just nuts. They're just not worth it.
It's crazy. It is crazy. But then we never know. You know what I mean? There might be a chop and change in the old points.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens. I suppose it
might make them viable again.
Well, we can always hope. You know, we can always hope and dream. There's no harm. Sure, what's the worst that could happen? Worst case scenario, it's absolute garbage and I'll stick to Battletech.
Hey! Battletech's become like your version of the Matt Ward buzzer thing, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Working a new buzzer on the Ward
can you
show.
tell?
Every time Battletech gets mentioned, it gets the old...
Every time the word Battletech gets used. But I'm looking forward to that. I am. The new Orc Codex, what way it goes. But like I said, I don't know about... I'm not in a rush to buy the Snagga stuff. I'm not, because I have so much stuff. Like
I won't buy all of it day one, and I don't think. Well, I think they're actually planning to release it in stages. Luckily, but I want the army box. I want the mega boss. I'm not. I probably want to get all of it eventually, but.
Yeah, eventually. I'm not saying I'm not going to buy it.
If I buy the whole lot of it, it'll be months before I build some of it anyway, let alone paint it. So, I mean, Gaz is still on the fucking sprue.
I was literally about to say the same thing. You know, I still have the last release stashed away, but it just depends on the price of the box set. You know what I mean? Because when it comes to some of these box sets, sometimes it is kind of worth buying it and sitting on it for a while, even for yourself. Because by the time you get around and you actually want to do the hobby or build the miniatures, you'll have saved yourself, 50, 60 quid sometimes.
Yeah.
It just depends. Like,
that's it. A box, the combat patrol boxes, army boxes. You just always making a nice saving there, aren't you? So just from that aspect alone, it is worth it. Although with this army box, we've seen that the Beast Snagger boys in it are very mono build. And again, there's no guarantees of this, but from what's been done with other factions, it looks like that is just a thing that you get in the box. And when these are released as a kit on their own, they're going to be more multi-part and with more options and things in them. So maybe, again, that might be a thing where you think, well, I'd rather hold out and buy them on their own and get them with the options and stuff, But I think that's a way for them to keep the cost of these boxes down, because it's obviously a cheaper sprue to produce and stuff. So you'll be getting them cheaper, but obviously you will have, 2 duplicates of every Beast Snagger boy in there. But I don't know. Hopefully that is the case. I think it is going to be. That's the optimist in me there speaking. Because otherwise, I don't think it's going to put people off wanting to do a whole Beast Snagger army, because just 10 Beast Snaggers repeated over and over again isn't going to be
I don't know, the way, even the way they're talking about it, that every clan can take it and such, I don't think they're aiming for that sort of thing. I think they want everyone to buy a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't think they're kind of expecting at the moment for what we've seen currently. It could be wrong in the long term, but for what we've seen, I don't think Beast Snagger armies, whole armies of them, is the thing. I think it's more sort of add this, force onto your existing army.
I think for us existing Orc players, that's certainly the case. Although I think it will attract a lot of new players who perhaps haven't been that interested in Orcs in the past, but now they've seen something, they're like, that's the sort of thing I've been waiting for, that's what I want. And I think some of them new players will probably come in and do pure Beast Snaggers and heavily theme their army around that, and it'll all be, feral looking orcs and squigs, and so I think they've been quite clever with the way they've done it, where it appeals to the existing core orc player base as something new and different to add to their army, but it also will appeal to them people that have maybe been a bit on the fence with orcs, or maybe not like the current range. And now I think we're going to see a big influx of new orc players now with all this new
that's
stuff
always
coming.
a bonus. Yeah. No complaints there, man. It's always nice to get more people in.
Hey, it certainly won't do our channels any harm.
Well,
what you really need is some more BattleTech players, don't you? That'll really boost your channel then.
Confirmation for Wave 2 Kickstarter for BattleTech. There's going to be one hell of an unboxing coming soon, folks. Don't you worry about it.
So I said to you on the in the chat yesterday when we were watching the Modelling for Advantage live show, which was a cracking show last night. Really enjoyed that.
Definitely, lads worth subscribing to. I do like watching Johnny B and the Kaiser. They're
go and see, if anyone in here doesn't know of that channel, Modelling for Advantage, Kaiser and Johnny B, go and check their channel out. They do a really cool live show, and they make great videos, and all wargaming, a lot of historicals, a bit of Warhammer, a bit of BattleTech. They cover everything. But yeah, funny guys and good interesting discussions and that they have. But I remember saying to you yesterday, because you said about the Wave 2, another unboxing coming, and I jokingly said to you, but I don't know if it might even be real. I said, you're still unboxing the first wave, aren't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's bits and pieces of the first one that I did a live unboxing video. I think I'll do a recorded one this time, and I can show stuff in more detail. But
you started the live unboxing video 9 months ago, and it's still ongoing.
still bits and pieces ongoing.
He's still there. He's still unboxing it.
Still going. How much stuff did you? Don't ask.
I've blunted another blade, cutting all these boxes open.
This is it. I think it was 2 boxes then. There's a hell of a lot more this time.
It looked like less of an unboxing. It just looked like you were a BattleTech stockist. Like you just like were opening up a store. The amount of stuff you had there.
Look, I didn't have much experience with Kickstarter at the time. All right, I didn't realise how much of a pitfall it is. I'm blaming them. Now, is this like his leather jacket or is that his skin? I can never tell because it's like
finding out with some of these goblins. I'm painting on the skin, and I'm like, hang on, is that skin or is that a glove? Is that his arm or is that a sleeve of a t-shirt? It's
yeah. There's a bit of that. It's like don't know.
Finding a couple of mold lines that I haven't removed as well. I'm like, ugh. Ugh.
Bracker saying new orc players, bring it on. Way. We'll believe options if they happen. If, says Dim.
I knew that was Dim.
Orc says he's probably getting a box of boys. This is it, man. I'm not in too much of a hurry to go out and buy the models because I know we have several amazing orc content creators in our 40k orc community. I'm sure I will be spoiled for choice in unboxing reviews on the new Beast Snagger miniatures. But I can guarantee you it won't be me. But there are some
there'll be a few reviews and unboxings going on, won't there, for sure?
When orders start shipping out, I love it when anytime there's a bit of orky news and it's like, I can hear the gun at the starting line, and they're off, and videos out.
It's weird because when I do the reaction videos and stuff, I tend to I'm usually at work when the news drops, so I kind of glance at it and manage to catch it quickly, like on a smoke break, and see it on my phone and go, all right, cool, looks like I'm making a video to when I get home then. But I tend to stay away from the community
until you've done your own, is it?
Recorded the video because, and I don't get the time to watch anyone else's thing if they've done it before me, because I don't want to I don't want their thoughts to influence mine. You know what I mean? I want it to be just my thought, what I've read, and then hit record and go and share your thoughts. And then it's quite interesting after doing that, then watching everyone else's and seeing what different people focus on and what everyone's different takes are.
And who picks up on what, yeah.
Because everyone tends to focus on sort of different aspects of it and different things. And
whereas if you just watch everyone,
quite interesting in itself, you know.
I do get you. Jesus, that was a bad transition there.
And speaking of orc news videos, the drunken orc, the old timey black and white news footage voice thing is just sometimes you see something you're like, oh, I wish I'd thought of that. That's just fucking brilliant. And if you haven't seen them, people, go and check them out because they're hilarious. And long may they continue.
This is it. You can get your ass over to the 40k orc community. There should be links in the description below. If not, there will be by the time this is done and dusted, which, if I'm being honest, probably we're not far off from. Steve-O, how's your painting progress going?
It's going good. Well, it's going all right. I've got 4 of them with green skin on. I mean, earlier this evening they were all just black primed, and I had to go over that a bit of a paintbrush to get the bits where the spray can missed, and then I dry brushed them all metallic, and now I've made a dent on the skin on them. So yeah, they're coming along. There's one for you there. He's
Hold
one
on.
of the
close cam, go.
One of the special weapon fellas. So I'm seeing him on the screen.
I mean,
there,
your face is perfectly in focus there. I'm loving it.
Well, that makes a change. But there you go. You get the idea anyway. I don't even need to. He's very early stages, so I don't think we need the ultra zoom in. And you can see that some of it's metal and some of it's green. There you go. But yeah, they're cool miniatures. I really like them, and they're gonna be a fun character for army. The only thing I need to add to them is a troll. in which I plan to get the Forge World one. Forge World do an armored troll.
Ooh.
That looks awesome, beautiful. I love it. As soon as I saw it, I fell in love. Games Workshop also do a plastic troll that looks shit. He's kind of throwing a goblin or a snotling maybe, and he's winding up. And I see what they've tried to do with him, but I just hate it. I think it's an ugly, ugly miniature.
I'm not too fond of the pose. I know exactly what you're on about. But you know,
Yeah,
they probably do a
just-
cracking troll. Dread, Resident Dread. You know what I mean? He was doing some absolutely cracking work with the trolls.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's done some great stuff with that. Yeah, his one for one of the entries was a competition of the Killer Can troll, basically, or a Death Dread troll. Yeah, awesome stuff. And yeah, those AOS trolls are very cool. And Dim's got a lot of experience with trolls as well, and he not internet trolls, Dim. Before you get in there, I mean, like, you know, miniature trolls. But yeah, he's done a lot of work with trolls and has got quite a few of them. There's some awesome miniatures out there. But yeah, that Forge World one, check it out, people. Go and have a look on the thing, because it's a lovely looking model. And yeah, I'd like that to be the sort of centerpiece of my team. But other than that, I won't buy anything else for them until I've played a few games, and then maybe I'll play a few games and go, this game's crap. But I doubt it. I imagine I'm going to enjoy it. But it's just going to be for fun for me. I'm not really bothered whether the team is effective or decent. I just want to have some fun and go and play in Clint Stadium.
This is it.
That's
Yeah,
what I wanna
if we
do.
could get a cup going up in Clint Stadium, because
It'd be
myself,
great if we get a little tournament going on or something.
you know what I mean. I myself have an orc team for Blood Bowl. You know what I mean. And I know Dim
Yeah,
has
let's do
several. You know,
Let's do it.
it has to happen. It does need. Clint,
For
Clint's
sure,
just coming
because
there.
it's the perfect sort of game. These small scale games are great for meetups and things where you could get several matches in a day, you know, or maybe over a weekend or something, and get a little tournament going. Yeah, I'll be well up for that. That'd be great fun.
I have to say
Make
that's one of
some
the.
match reports for YouTube and that, all shot in the stadium. Oh, that'd be superb. Essex, just organise it, mate. Host a Blood Bowl tournament and invite other YouTubers with teams to come to yours and take part in that. Yeah, do that.
Crate of beers, barbecue out the back, bit of sunshine. You know what I mean. The old fold-out tables.
Oh, he's in the comments. He's saying, yes, let's do it. Well, no, yes, you do it. You organise it, build it, and they will come.
Well, he's built it. He's built the stadium, like.
Oh, true. He's just got to sort out bed and board for us all.
So we'll leave
with catering included.
we'll leave that in your capable hands.
Because he's a chef, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. So
there you go. So yeah, we can get the. He can lay on some grub. We'll have a lovely buffet going. Let's do it.
Won't know ourselves.
But yeah, we are probably coming to the end, because I did promise the better half that I'd be done by 11.
You're in trouble now. You're in. I did give you the option. I did give you a get out of free jail free.
I know,
you know what I mean?
As what always happens with these live videos and with our awesome community, you get chatting, you start having fun. But yeah,
This is
slightly
it.
short ones. They will be in 93 minutes. So yeah, with an hour and a half.
Yeah, an hour and a half.
We usually go for a couple of hours,
Not too
but we're a bit late getting started today, so we just
You can blame me.
shortened the time
You
a
can,
bit,
you can
so-
blame me. Me and
Oh,
my
I
new
will,
job.
I will.
You can blame me and my new job. That's what you can do. You can blame me and my new job. But the next episode of Two Bald Knobs, they won't have to wait for as long, and it will
We
be
hope.
on your channel.
Yes.
So keep an eye out for that, and we'll give a bit more notification. We'll give some notification as opposed to the day. So cheers for showing up, folks. It's been good crack, and yeah, that's it's gonna be goodbye from Scarn here. We'll catch you in the next one, and don't forget to drill your barrels.
And it'll be 6+ Stevo signing out. Catch you later, guys.
Bye. Happy days.